What is going on, family? It is your favorite uncle, cousin, Tyrone Gregory, the self-employed tax guy, back at it again with another video. But hey, this time I'm going to do something different because I really just want to tell you a quick story. So a couple of weeks ago, I'm driving, yes, sitting in this horrendous, terrible, nerve-aggravating Los Angeles traffic. And even though I'm slightly irritated because I'm bumper to bumper, really not moving, I'm trying to be positive, you know?
Is it you? Is it you? Is it me? Is it me? It's us.
And yet, as I'm sitting there, I hear this ad come on the radio, and it goes something like this. Do you have poor credit, poor personal credit? Is your FICO score low, 400, 500? Well, how would you like to have good credit? Come join this seminar where we're going to show you how to access up to X amount of dollars in credit by forming a corporation. So, of course, when I heard the part about access or using a corporation to boost your credit score, I was like, and so, you know, I had to go, right? So I'm sitting there in traffic thinking to myself, like, wow, this is or at least the advertisement said it was a credit repair company telling people that by forming a corporation, you're going to somehow, some way be able to access lines of credit that you couldn't get because your personal credit is messed up. So again, of course, I said I got to go hear what they're talking about. So fast forward, it was on a Saturday. So I get up early Saturday morning and I go to this hotel where the seminar said that they were going to be. And this is a large hotel, right? They have huge banquet rooms that can hold like thousands of people. And so when I see where I'm going, or I see on the board right there where the seminar is being held, I go there, and it's a very small room. Now, I'll be honest with you, seeing that it was a small room, I kind of felt good in a sense. And here's why, because when I walked in the room, there was about maybe 50 to 54 seats available. Yes, I counted. And only about maybe 30 to 40 people showed up. And this is why I kind of felt good about that particular aspect of the seminar, because the ad was being played on a major Los Angeles radio station doing prime time. So I know that the ad was heard by hundreds of thousands of people, yet only 30 to 40 showed up, which means that there are a lot of people out there that are getting wise to these type of, I don't want to say scams, even though I did just kind of plant that seed in your mind that it was a scam, because that's what I felt it was. But, you know, the majority of the people out there are really getting hip to these people trying to take advantage of them. But the fact that at least, like I said, 30 to 40 people that showed up still lets me know that there are individuals out there who are unaware, which is why I said I got to go check out what kind of rhetoric are they going to be spewing, how are they getting ready to try to manipulate people. So I show up. And again, you know, I walk in, and I admit it's nice. When I walk in, there's this beautiful folder. As a matter of fact, here it is right here. They have this folder. They have these sitting at every desk, and it's beautiful. And I like it, as a matter of fact. I think I'm going to have to get some of these made for the people that I serve. But when I open it up, it was only like 2 sheets of paper in it. Like that's it. And the paper, one of them is like a printout from the Federal Trade Commission. And the second one is a piece of paper that says, you know, how you can get your credit report for free. And so I'm thinking, like, you know, we in 2019, who fills out paper forms and mails them in anymore, right? Like, you know, you can just go online and do all that. But not everybody accepts the technology. I get it. So he was good. Anyway, fast forwarding to the part where the person who is in charge of this whole operation walks in. Very short guy, funny. And as soon as he walks in, he begins to tell people how dumb and stupid they are because it's their fault that their personal credit is messed up. Now, even though he said it in a joking manner, I was still like, wow, did he really just call these people dumb and stupid? Well, I guess me too, because I'm sitting there. But I'm like, okay, let's continue to go with this and see how it goes. So he begins to get into his presentation. So he turns on the PowerPoint, and I am just laughing hysterically to myself because it is the mind manipulation that he's getting ready to go. I can just see it coming, right? As he shows us the PowerPoint slides of him standing in front of a Lamborghini with mottos, is him getting on like a helicopter and private jets, and he got the biggest yacht, the biggest house, and this man begins to tell us everything about himself. Right now, he's trying to build his credibility with the audience. He's a billionaire. He writes sermons for Joel Osteen. I mean, anything that you can think of that a human being has experienced, this man has told us he's been experienced. He done been shot, stabbed. He done died and came back to life. Anything. I'm sitting up here like, wow. And I'm scanning the room just to kind of see how these people are reacting. And these people are getting like their eyes are big and they're drooling, they're excited because here is this man who's done all these things. He's so great, so admirable, and he's getting ready to teach us how to be like him. That was the hook. And while I'm sitting there, I could swear to you, I was feeling like I was in one of those services where when they tell you to drink the water and your financial blessing is coming. You know you've seen those commercials.
I received a financial blessing in the mail, a check for $2,958.
First check was just about $20,000. The second check was $40,000.
I opened up my mail and $56,000 was in the mail.
Called out. The number's on your screen. I want to get the faith tool to you. I want to get the miracle spring water to you. These two items are absolutely free. Called out.
So anyway, again, not trying to make this drawn out. I really want to make this long story short. So when he finished telling us about himself, now note I was in there about maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. So the first hour and 15 minutes was spent on him telling us about his life, what he's accomplished, who were the celebrities that he's hobnogging with and all this good stuff. So finally, we get to the core of the presentation, how all of this works. How are you going to achieve getting some additional credit by having this corporation? And now here's the thing. I will admit this. Some of the things that he said made sense. Some of the things that he said I know to be true just by my own research and things like that. But here's the thing. If anytime you want to manipulate people, anytime you want to sell something, you have to have a little bit of truth mixed in there, or nobody will believe you. So, of course, some of the things he said were true, but what he wasn't telling the people is where the manipulation came in. So this is the actual strategy. The first thing that you are going to do is form a corporation and have that corporation be the holding corporation, okay? And then under that corporation, you're going to have multiple subdivisions. And this is where he really started to like really pump the people up and get them excited because they like, yes, one, I can own a corporation. Two, this corporation is going to have multiple divisions doing different things and things like that. And each of those divisions of the corporation is going to be the one that buys all of these things, like the fancy cars, the fancy house, the helicopter, the boats. Each division of the corporation, it's what's going to buy those things. And by you being the owner of the corporation will receive the benefit, the joy and pleasure of having it. And so I'm sitting there like, okay. So this is where the manipulation comes in, because yes, owning a corporation, but if you have a corporation and you're really not doing anything with it, but buying assets, there's no profit. We didn't really talk about the tax aspect of it and filing of that and what that's going to require, what that's going to look like. What are you doing? Right there's so many things that go into having a corporation buy an asset, but that's that's what I'm thinking. Like, wow, this is where the manipulation is coming in at. So he continues to talk, and so the idea is you get the corporation, and once you get the corporation, he is going to add you some trade lines to your personal credit and thereby boost your personal credit so you can use that to boost your corporate credit and start applying for things under the credit corporation. So again, this is a credit repair company, and I'm assuming, and this is an assumption, and yes, I know what they say about assumptions, but he's talking about corporate credit and personal credit, but he's going to add some trade lines. And if you're not familiar with what a trade line is, definitely do your research, especially if you're in a situation where your credit isn't where you want it to be. It is definitely a good sound strategy there, but he's going to add some trade lines to the credit, which is going to be able to boost your history. Not necessarily give you immediate credit, but it's going to give you good history added to your history, which is going to appear as if you are credit worthy. That's exactly how that works. So he gives you, he adds you on to his credit lines and things like that, boost you up. And now all of a sudden you have access to 25,000 plus whatever. And one of the strategies was, which I said, again, there is truth in these lies, right? Another part of the strategy is once you get this corporation and you set out these multiple divisions, one of your divisions is that you're going to go buy a franchise. And this is where I really just got shocked, because here we are telling people who don't have any experience in business management, or again, I'm assuming just based on the demographic and what I saw in this audience as I was scanning a room. We have people who are really not aware of how to manage corporations, who don't really know how to manage businesses and do things like that. But you're going to get this corporation and then you're going to go buy a franchise like a McDonald's or a Starbucks or a KFC. You're going to go buy that and own it. And because you now buy this franchise, you're going to be a millionaire, because that was one of the things that he said also, with the next 12 months, you're going to be a millionaire. You're going to have the biggest house. You're own over $5 million in real estate. And I'm like, it sounds good, but there is a whole lot missing to that. Like there is the strategy, there's the steps. How are you going to get to that? But if there's an old saying that says, to the unknown, nothing is obvious, right? So if these people are not aware of how all of this works, they're sitting there thinking like it's very simple. Create a corporation, get multiple divisions in that corporation. I'm going to become a franchise business owner, and next thing you know, I'm going to have all this wealth and riches. And it doesn't work like that, right? It was like, wow, this is where the manipulation comes in, but it gets better. So as we continue on in this seminar, he says, and you can do all of this. And he gave us two pricing points, two pricing options. One was for $1,000. You know, you pay $1,000 and you'll be able to just get just the trade lines and up to $10,000 in credit, right? No corporation, no nothing else. Option two was to pay between $1,500 and up to $2,500 to get up to between $20,000 and $25,000 credit line with the corporation. And with that corporation, you'll be able to go to the fleet manager in any dealership and get you a vehicle. Yes, that is what he said. And I'm thinking like, wow. And again, I'm scanning the room and these people are really going for it. Thinking like, yeah, man, I can go to the fleet manager. And I'm thinking to myself, well, think about what the fleet manager is. Fleet, right? That is the person who is in charge of corporations who are going to need multiple vehicles. So of course, the pricing is different for that particular individual, that corporation that needs multiple vehicles. If you go to the fleet manager and be like, I just need that one car, I'm pretty sure he's going to have a different conversation with you. And if you're going to the fleet manager because you have the best negotiating skills, then you can do that with the regular salesperson. The regular sales manager don't even bother the fleet manager because you're only going to get one car and he's in charge of giving you multiple. But anyway, I digress. Moving on. And so with these two packages, and here's another thing that really stood out to me is the fact that you don't make the payment directly to him. You make the payment to a nonprofit organization that I do believe is ran by him. And because you made the payment to this nonprofit organization, that payment becomes a tax deduction on your tax return. That was his ultimate selling point. Like, you make this payment, even if you got to put $30 down today, just do it. Just commit to it. And it's a write-off for you. And that's the part that really stood out to me, because how can it be a write-off? You only get to write it off if you itemize. Like, and the way that the tax laws have now been changed, nobody's really itemizing no more. So you paying this money with the idea that you're going to be able to write it off, and guess what? You're not. And as he's talking, it's something funny that made me laugh and get frustrated at the same time. This man says he's been doing this for over 35 years. And I got to thinking back, like, I remember back in 1999, or was it early 2000, I had went to a similar seminar in Long Beach. And he said he'd been doing them, like in Long Beach, Los Angeles for over 35 years. And I remember I paid $1,500 to get my first corporation with the hopes that I was going to be able to access, these excessive amounts of lines of credit because I had poor credit back then. And I looked at him like, so you the one that took my money, made me all these promises, and nothing happened. So anyway, look, y'all, that was my story. I really just had to share that with you. And I guess the moral of the story in which I was trying to get across is, don't believe everything you hear. People are going to do their best to manipulate you into giving them some money somehow, some way. That is how people make a living. Just don't. I mean, if you hear something that sounds interesting, I'm not telling you don't go to any seminars, don't go check out anything, but trust but verify. Okay, let's say that. Trust but verify. I just don't want you falling into any traps like I did. Remember, that was some years ago. I paid the $1,500 with the intentions on getting that $25,000 credit and having corporation, all that did it. And the only thing that happened was my corporation ended up sitting on the shelf, costing me money every year, because in California, you have to pay $800 whether you do business or not. But just because you have a corporation, you have to pay it. And so it just ended up costing me more money than I even made money. So I told you this story just so you can learn from your favorite uncle cousin's mistake. Don't fall for the okie doke. Don't believe everything you hear. Trust but verify. All right, and that's it for me. Again, quick story. Just had to want to share share that with you because I found it to be quite interesting, quite funny, and I hope that you get some from it. If you have any questions, let me know. I love you, and I will see you the next time I do an actual tax video. Yeah.